Hey, howdy, hello, everyone. A pillow coming to you live. Friendly reminder, if you want to know whenever I go live, you can join the Discord down below so that you can join this lovely chat we have over here. With that being said, though, someone recently announced that they were running for president, and I'm going to show you a picture of this person who announced that they were running for president. It is peak Florida man. He is running for president, and this, people, is the guy currently running for president from Florida, from the Republican Party. Yes, Satan himself, Ron DeSantis, is running for president. And we're going to watch his campaign video right quick, and then we're going to talk about what this generally means for the United States moving forward, what I think it means for the United States moving forward. So let's get into it. Let's watch it. Let's do it. As you can see, we're on his Twitter. Don't follow him. He sucks. Okay, let's watch his video.
Our border is a disaster. Crime infests our cities. The federal government makes it harder for families to make ends meet, and the president...
Okay, I'm saying this like fully on. Ron DeSantis's voice is like very... It's kind of girly pop, if you get what I'm saying. Look, I can say that I'm bi. Okay, I'm bi. His voice is a little girly pop, if you get what I mean. Yeah, Ron DeSatan. Okay, let's give it. Hello, Jaden Hawkins.
Flounders. But decline is a choice. Success is attainable, and freedom is worth fighting for. Righting the ship requires restoring sanity to our society, normalcy to our communities, and integrity to our institutions. Truth must be our foundation, and common sense can no longer be an uncommon...
And common sense can no longer be...
virtue. In Florida, we proved that it can be done. We chose facts over fear, education over indoctrination, law and order over rioting and disorder. We held the line when freedom hung in the balance. We showed that we can and must revitalize America. We need the courage to lead and the strength to win. I'm Ron DeSantis, and I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
RonDeSantis.com. Okay. So, DeSatan is running for president, as we can all see there. And, I think it's time that I cover this. So, anyone who's watched the channel for a while, or even if you're new, would probably be able to surmise the fact that I think Ron DeSantis is quite literally one of the worst things to happen to the United States of America. I have actually made a video before telling people who live in red states and in red districts to register Republican so that they can vote in the GOP primaries, primarily so that they can vote for Trump in the primaries, because that's how much I don't like DeSantis. When we look at the dichotomy between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, what we see is, with DeSantis, someone who is genuinely committed to his horrible beliefs and just screwing a ton of people over, and someone who is an opportunist and will just do whatever it takes to kind of get popular, but after that he's more than willing to like sit in his room watching Fox News or whatever. And that's what we had with Trump. DeSantis running for president is not a very good thing when it comes to people that are queer, people that are minorities, such as myself, because DeSantis and his government did recently pull back on the AP African American History section of Florida's state curriculum. That's not allowed anymore, and things of that nature. And what we see with DeSantis running for president is not the first attempt at fascist trying electoralism in the United States. That's been done before. but really the first attempt at someone who was genuinely a strong man and is genuinely committed to those beliefs, not a Trump figure, someone who might hold some of those beliefs kind of, but largely just does it because of personal power and the want for personal power. What we see in this situation with DeSantis running for president is someone who genuinely does believe in these kinds of things that he pushes, and that is significantly more of a threat than it is for Trump, which is why I've said it before and I've said it again. If you are a leftist and you live in a red state and you live in a red district that has no chance of flipping blue, register as a Republican, vote for Trump in the primaries, because no one else is going to win in the primaries. It's down between Trump and DeSantis. And when it comes down to it, you would much rather have a Trump versus Biden matchup than a Biden versus DeSantis matchup. Because we already know what happens with a Trump versus Biden matchup. Trump got blown the fuck out in 2020. Okay? We don't know what's going to happen with a Biden versus DeSantis matchup. And you can say, oh, well, the American public are just like, not really caring about the Republican Party all that much, so they're going to go out and like vote for Biden. You don't know that. Don't take that for granted. It's better to go with the variable that we already know than the variable that we don't know, and that variable that we don't know is DeSantis. Now, on the Republican side of things, our lovely announcement from Ron DeSantis. If we come back to the Twitter announcement and we look right under it, let's just say we have some fun things. You're a great governor, but I'm going with President Trump in the primary. You've been the Laverne Spicer, one of the biggest Republican propagandists, who runs on the whole like, oh, I'm a minority and I'm also like a Republican thing. She was a congressional candidate in Florida. But what she said is, you've been the best governor Florida has ever had. I genuinely wish you wouldn't leave us behind and run for president until 2028. This is someone from DeSantis. Oh yeah, her DeSantis. Miss DeSantis. Governess DeSantis. This is someone from Ron DeSantis' state. Rhonda Santis. And she is saying, hey, don't run for president for 2020, and I wish you wouldn't abandon us like this. We have another Trump 24 under here, Trump 2024. The further society drifts from truth, the more it will hate those that speak it. Okay. Oh, George Orwell. George Orwell was a fucking socialist, come on. Vote Trump. Delete this Rod. Okay, I'm a youth football coaching legend who encourages my players to drop out of school, but okay, that's a joke. Eric Spracken, MAGA, Trump 2024. I stand with Trump. Greeting the mouse. The mouse. So basically what we're saying is, I feel like DeSantis would be more likely to win against Biden than Trump. That's how I feel too, because DeSantis is an unknown quantity. People already don't like Trump. It's better for Trump to face Biden than for Biden to face DeSantis. Hey man, keep up the awesome work. Thank you. Yeah, so what we're seeing here is, it looks like Trump's early attacks against DeSantis, calling him sanctimonious and whatnot, have actually kind of worked a little bit. And Trump has primed the GOP base, who, let's be honest, really, really like him. Has primed the GOP base to not really like DeSantis. As our kind friend over here says, it's over. And we can see, is that DeSantis' wife? I don't know. I know that's not Jill. We can see I'm pretty sure edited picture of Biden cucking DeSantis, which is funny. Funny to me. Old pudding fingers, yeah. He has those King Charles sausages for fingers. We have this meme. Listen, dude, the Trump supporters are already creating anti-DeSantis memes. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Yeah. So, it's time for me to get to the part where I talk about what this means for the United States of America. This is bad. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, yeah? And I'm going to tell you how this should go. If Trump wins the primary, I am willing to say that the U.S. is in a pretty good position to skirt by for at least the next 4 years. Yeah? If DeSantis wins the Republican primary, get a passport or update your passport and make plans to leave the fucking country. I'm gonna say this again. If DeSantis wins the Republican primary, and it's not because, actually no, if he wins the primary in general, yeah, even if it's because, some shit happens to Trump, and he, I don't know, fucks off and dies or some shit, and he can't run, if DeSantis wins the Republican primary, you need to update your documents and make a plan to get the fuck out of the United States. You need to update your documents and make a plan to get the fuck out of the United States. Okay? Because we don't know a Biden versus DeSantis matchup. I'm gonna say it already. If Biden is facing against Trump, Trump is gonna lose. I would put money on that. DeSantis, we don't know. We don't know if we're gonna see the same turnout that we saw in the midterms. And the midterms were just barely a Republican victory. Just barely they skirted through with control of the House. We don't know if that same energy is going to carry into 2024. And you can say, oh, well, the American public doesn't like, the Republican Party, which is true. Or oh, the American public really prefers their rights over the Republican Party, which is true. But you don't know how much political apathy can set in that time. You don't know what can happen in the time between now and Election Day 2024 that will cause things to change to a point where people might be willing to either vote DeSantis, which I doubt would happen, or what it would be more likely of a scenario, not enough people come out to vote Biden against DeSantis. People already know Trump. People already don't like Trump. People have already gotten out and voted out Trump in the middle of a political crisis, which was COVID. In the middle of a political and health crisis, which was COVID. People already came and voted him the fuck out during that. Yeah? He is a known quantity. We don't know what's going to happen with DeSantis. And DeSantis is a much larger threat than Trump is. And you cannot sleep on this threat. If you've never politically organized, now's your time to get out. If you don't have a passport, now's your time to get a passport. If you don't know anything about the visa process, now's the time to learn about the visa process. Now's the time to get trained up to potentially have to work in a different country. Now's the time to contact relatives in states that might be a little safer in the case that DeSantis takes over as president and try to get out. And try to get to those states. You need to have an escape plan. And I'm sorry if this is sounding doomery, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If DeSantis wins in 2024, that's it. That's it for the next few years. That's it until people my age and Gen Alpha, the generation below me, grow up and can take the keys to power. That's it. I genuinely do not see any viable way through if DeSantis wins, because he is an authoritarian. He is so much more of an authoritarian than Trump was. And you don't want to know what will happen when he gets his hands on presidential power. Look at what's going on in Florida. Imagine that on a national scale. You cannot let this man win. At all. And you should employ any means necessary, legally, you should employ any means necessary to ensure that this man does not win. Whether that be joining your local GOP and voting in the primary to make sure that Trump wins that primary, whether that be going out and canvassing, whether that be trying to convince people out of the DeSantis train, or just flat out making sure that people know how much of a threat DeSantis is. We need to make sure that DeSantis does not get anywhere close to power. And moreover, we kind of got to make sure that Trump stays fucking kicking. Yeah. So if you're religious, pray that Trump stays alive, because if that fucker conks out dead in like mid-August off of like a heart attack or some shit, we're fucked. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If Trump like chokes on some fucking ketchup, we're fucked. Yeah, because like, listen, that Republican crown, that's not going to fucking Mike Pence. That's going straight to DeSantis. Yeah, and that's not something that you want. Okay. Now, hopefully, what we see is the infighting between Trump's camp and DeSantis's camp, or Trump's camp simply turning on DeSantis. Hopefully that is virulent enough to ensure that even if Trump conks out before 2024, DeSantis doesn't have a chance of gaining his voters. We might be able to see that. And hey, you know how like sometimes people will like go on Twitter and act like they're a part of a political position that they're not a part of? You know, psyop shit. It's perfectly legal to go on Twitter and pretend that you have a political opinion that you do not have. It is perfectly legal to go on Twitter and act like you are some hardcore Republican and then shit on DeSantis. It is perfectly legal to do that. Listen, all I'm gonna say is this. 3-letter agent glow so bright, and you're all my beautiful glowies. With that being said, if you like this video, I hope you like and subscribe and hit that bell icon down below. You can join me on Twitter down below and join the fan Discord so that you know when I go live. I don't even necessarily like saying fans, just a Discord. I talk in there occasionally. It's beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be huge. And with that being said, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. I have to hit the stop record button.